Hello art friends, my name is Fleshwad and welcome to the channel. If you are an artist or follow artists or have social media, you may have seen the hashtag 6fanarts challenge. If you somehow haven't, the 6fanarts challenge is basically a template with 6 boxes, and you can ask your followers or even just for yourself and draw fan art of 6 characters. I asked you guys on Instagram, follow me if you don't already, it's at FleshwadYT, to suggest to me some characters to draw, and that is what you're going to see today. Let's get started. First fan art is of Beetlejuice. I have seen a couple of art friends who I follow recently draw Beetlejuice, and I have been wanting to draw him as well ever since. So of course, he was first on this list. If you haven't seen Beetlejuice, it is a movie about a couple who dies and a living family moves into their house. And the couple enlist Beetlejuice to help exorcise the living people. I actually drew him on a live on Instagram, which I do sometimes so I can talk to you guys one-on-one. It's really fun. I asked you guys on the live which character I should draw, and it was pretty close between Lydia and Beetlejuice. And Beetlejuice won. How many times have I said Beetlejuice? I'm sure if he was real, he would be here by now. I decided to draw him in the Hawaii-like outfit because I knew the red would pop. He was looking pretty sketchy at first. Sometimes when artists draw for a long time, they cannot see things that should be easily noticed, at least I can't. So I'm very happy I decided to do this on a live because those of you who were watching really helped me out a ton on this piece. Specifically, I want to give a shout out to @magicteeth_ on Instagram. Follow him if you don't. His art is amazing, but he really helped me out with the face shape because Beetlejuice was beginning to look like Rick from Rick and Morty, who by the way I need to draw as well. And also Magicteeth picked out the goat eyes, which I think is the coolest part of this piece. Those peepers really draw you in. So then I colored the piece, wrote Beetlejuice in the background, and our first fan art was done. Next up is Donnie Darko. No one actually suggested this movie, but it was Easter, so obviously I had to draw Frank the Bunny. But I didn't want to just draw Frank. I wanted to draw a little bit of Donnie as well. If you aren't familiar with the movie Donnie Darko, it is about a boy, Donnie, and the movie heavily deals with mental disorders, most specifically paranoid schizophrenia displayed by Donnie. He sees a rabbit who is part of his imagination, part real. It's very hard to understand. You might have to watch it a couple of times, but boy, is it interesting. This is actually one of my favorite movies. I even remember the first time I saw it, I was mind blown. It's very good. Check it out if you haven't. By the way, Donnie is not Frank. I know it might look weird since I drew it like that, but this pose was actually inspired by a Junji Ito piece, Tommy. I was super psyched with this piece. I cannot believe how long it took me to sit down and draw my favorite movie. I bought this movie, like the director's cut and the script book. That's how much I loved it. Yeah, I think this might be my favorite piece of all the art done in this video. By the way, if you're curious, all of these drawings are done in Procreate on the iPad, and specifically I used the inking brush Pandani for everything from sketch to color, except that I did use the syrup brush to flat color. It's just easier, but to shade and everything else is the Pandani brush. Next up is probably the most suggested, Coraline. Again, I cannot believe how long it has taken me to draw Coraline, although I do have a video on here on my channel titled The Reasons Why I Won't Go to Mockingbird Park. It is a tiny creepypasta poem. My drawing during is very Coraline inspired. I'll link that if you want to check it out, but be warned, it is pretty old. I decided to draw Coraline with the buttons. I thought it would be more spooky, obviously, and I also drew the cat on her shoulder. Just as like an added object, this is the thing, I do not like to draw fan art. There's already so much fan art of whatever I want to draw, and I just feel like sometimes there's no need for me to draw something that has already been drawn a million times. I don't know, that's just how I feel, but only with certain pieces like this one and the one after the next piece. I don't know. Not to say that I didn't have fun drawing these pieces, it's just kind of like weird to me. After drawing the spooky Coraline, I also wanted to draw the normal Coraline with the raincoat on top. I think I like this version way better than the spooky version. I just like the colors, which I also did mess around with the colors after the drawing. I only recently discovered you could do this, so I'm kind of using the heck out of it, but it is so fun. It gives the drawing way more pop, depending on how you scale the colors. Next up is Ryuk from the anime Death Note. Ryuk is what is known as a Shinigami, basically a death god. He follows the holders of a certain book titled the Death Note and can grant death to any name written in the book. This is one of my favorite animes. It is just so well thought out, such an amazing story, and such interesting characters. The only anime that I like more is My Hero Academia, like those are my top two. And JoJo's Bizarre Adventures is probably third or tied for second. Anyways, I decided to draw Ryuk. I've been wanting to draw him for so long, and I am definitely going to draw him again. I didn't get to put that much time into this piece since I was trying to finish up these 6 fan arts. It didn't take, like each piece didn't take that long. It was more of the fact that I wanted to put all 6 pieces in, which usually my videos consist of about 2 to 3 hours of art. This one consisted of more like 6 to 8 hours, so yeah. I really wanted to do a dynamic pose, but like I said, I didn't have enough time, so that's why I will definitely be drawing Ryuk again. Overall, I really like how he came out. I mean, he's very recognizable and very goofy looking. Second to last, Dobby. Dobby is a member of the Villains League in the anime My Hero Academia, which is an anime that focuses on a world where like 90% of the population has quirks or superpowers, and of course, some people are evil and some are good. The anime is about the battle between the two. I couldn't decide if I wanted to draw Deku, All Might, or Dobby, but I ended up going with Dobby, and this is kind of what I was talking about earlier while drawing Coraline. I literally got lost in a rabbit hole of Dobby fan art. Like, it was all so amazing, and I was jaw dropping at every piece, and it kind of made me feel like, why should I draw Dobby when there's already so much amazing fan art? But nonetheless, I toughed it out, stopped looking at fan art, and chose to take reference from a screen cap instead. The brush that I'm using is more of a sketchy brush. It's very light. I have to go over the same parts multiple times, which results in a sketchy, loose drawing. So my Dobby looks more sketched than I would have liked, but overall I do think that I did a pretty good job considering it's a 3/4 / side profile, which I don't normally do, but I'd love to give Dobby another shot in the future, and probably something more realistic as well. And we have made it to the end. Last fan art is of Noodle from the Gorillas. It was between Noodle, Wendy from The Shining, and Mabel from Gravity Falls, but Noodle won the poll. I already get a handful of comments saying that my art looks like the gorilla style, which I will take that compliment. I love the character design for all of the Gorillas members, so I was pretty excited to actually take a shot at Noodle, who I've never drawn before. Oh, if you don't know, Gorillaz is a music group who are all animated characters, very rad. Noodle was actually the easiest of all the characters to draw. I think it's because I can draw girls easier than guys, because I draw girls mainly. But she took like 30 minutes, which is incredible. I drew her in the phase 4, which is these circular sunglasses, this huge cropped blue sweater, and a black skirt. She's adorable. I'm very pleased with how this one turned out. I'm going to put a poll up and please vote which fan art was your favorite. You can also comment down below, I'm very curious. Let me know if you guys draw fan art or if you feel kind of like I do. It's weird because I love seeing fan art, but I don't really like drawing it. Anyways, I had a ton of fun drawing these ones at least, since I haven't drawn fan art in forever. Make sure to click the like button if you like the art and to subscribe if you haven't. Speaking of fan art, stay tuned for some really cool fan art by you guys at the end. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until the next video, bye.